Hello, WWE wrestling fans. Welcome to In the Ring with me, WWE fan Alex Cardinale. How the heck are you? It has been so long since I've hosted an episode of In the Ring with WWE fan Alex Cardinale. It's great to be back, and it's great to talk about WWE, one of my all-time favorite professional wrestling companies. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. Happy Thanksgiving, WWE fans. Survivor Series airs this Saturday. So just 2 nights after Thanksgiving, it's time for War Games. And it's time for Survivor Series. That's right. This year's edition of Survivor Series will feature the War Games match for the first time ever on the WWE main roster. And I am looking forward to Survivor Series War Games. Survivor Series takes place this year, this Saturday in Boston at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Peacock in the United States and the WWE Network elsewhere. So I figured tonight, to get you ready for Survivor Series this coming Saturday, I'm going to look back at some of the greatest Survivor Series matches and moments of past Survivor Series. I know I'm excited to see what's going to happen at Survivor Series War Games this Saturday, but as we get ready for that, let's look back at some of the past greatest Survivor Series matches and moments. Now, if you're watching this video on Facebook, feel free to support me. You can show support by sending me stars on Facebook. Stars help me earn money to make more high quality, great content like this one. So if you're watching me exclusively on my Facebook page, hit that star button and send me some stars to help me earn money to make this great content. So as always, depending on where you're watching me from, feel free to share your favorite Survivor Series matches and moments of all time in the comments. So WWE fans, what are your favorite Survivor Series matches and moments of all time? Post them in the comments. Tonight, I'm going to talk about my favorite Survivor Series matches and moments. And I'm also going to answer the question, should Survivor Series be War Games themed every year moving forward? Or should Survivor Series be a battle of brand supremacy between Raw and SmackDown? All that and more right here, right now on In the Ring with WWE fan Alex Cardinale. So I'm going to answer the burning question first. Should Survivor Series get War Games match every year, or should Survivor Series continue the brand supremacy between Raw versus SmackDown theme. WWE fans, what are your thoughts on this situation? Post your thoughts in the comments. Should Survivor Series moving forward be Survivor Series War Games, or should it be the Battle for Brand Supremacy, Raw versus SmackDown? I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. In my personal opinion, I think moving forward, Survivor Series should be War Games themed. I think Triple H did the right call by introducing the War Games match to the main roster. I don't know what took so long, but the War Games match definitely belongs on the WWE main roster, and Survivor Series is the right host for the War Games match. When the announcement was made that War Games was coming to the main roster, I was very excited. I was a very excited WWE fan. And here's why. The War Games match is a very interesting match, a very popular match. It was very popular in WCW. It got brought back for NXT, but for some reason, Vince McMahon did not want it on the main roster. But now Triple H is in charge, and Triple H has brought it back to the main roster, and I think it's going to be a great addition to a historic fall classic that is Survivor Series. Survivor Series is known as Elimination pay-per-view because of the elimination style match. So the only change I would have for Survivor Series War Game maybe next year is that the War Game match features eliminations. Still have it be a 10-man match, but have it be elimination like the Survivor Series tag team match. That'll give it a Survivor Series twist and also a War Games twist. I think that would be great. So that's my thoughts on it. You WWE fans can post your thoughts in the comments, and you can also talk about your favorite Survivor Series matches and moments. Now, let's start talking about my favorite Survivor Series matches and moments from past Survivor Series. The first match that I'm going to talk about comes from Survivor Series 2005, and it was the main event from Survivor Series 2005. It was Team Monday Night Raw, captained by Shawn Michaels, Carlito, Chris Masters, Big Show, and Kane versus Team SmackDown, which was captained by JBL, Rey Mysterio, Batista, Randy Orton, and Bobby Lashley. 2005 was a great year for professional wrestling fans because Raw and SmackDown were delivering A-plus quality programs, and professional wrestlers and professional wrestling fans alike loved either Raw or SmackDown, or equally loved them both. I will admit in 2005, I was more of a Monday Night Raw fan. But you have to admit, in the early days, WWE really treated Raw and SmackDown as their own TV show and as their own brand. And I thought it was unique, and I thought it was great that WWE had a pay-per-view Survivor Series where Raw and SmackDown went head to head. And it was great because we got to see some matchups that we thought we would never see in this Survivor Series elimination match, like Shawn Michaels against JBL, like Chris Masters against Bobby Lashley, Chris Masters against Batista, Big Show and Kane versus Orton. So it really was cool. Now, SmackDown got the victory in this match. Randy Orton looked really strong in this match. He got a big push in this match and a well-deserved push as well. Randy Orton did great. Now, unfortunately, Eddie Guerrero was going to be in this match, and this was going to plant the seeds for a Shawn Michaels Eddie Guerrero WrestleMania 22 match. But sadly, Eddie Guerrero passed away before this match, unfortunately. But this is one of the better Raw versus SmackDown matches from Survivor Series history. Do I think we will ever see another Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series gimmick? I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if we did, but I don't think we will. I think Triple H wants to continue Survivor Series War Games. And I think Survivor Series moving forward, this year included, is going to include the War Game gimmick. And like I said earlier, the War Game gimmick will be cool if they add the elimination style into it that we have grown to love from Survivor Series. The next Survivor Series match that is one of my all-time favorites is kind of a Survivor Series match that was announced the day of the pay-per-view, I believe, or the week prior to the pay-per-view. It was not a heavily advertised match, and it actually was the beginning of a feud between two Hall of Famers, Shawn Michaels and JBL. It was Team HBK versus Team JBL from Survivor Series 2008. This is a Survivor Series match that I think a lot of people sleep on. It was a good match. It wasn't a great classic or a 10-star Survivor Series match, but for what it was, it delivered. For such a late addition to the Survivor Series 2008 card, it delivered pretty well. Now, the Survivor Series 2008 Team HBK versus Team JBL consisted of Team Michaels, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, Great Khali, and Crime Time versus Team JBL, JBL, MVP, Kane, and Miz and Morrison. A great matchup where Shawn Michaels put over younger talent. Even though Michaels' team won, he still made John Morrison look like $1,000. When John Morrison went for Sweet Chin Music, Michaels ducked, and Michaels connected with Sweet Chin Music for the victory. Also, was a very brilliant maneuver by Shawn Michaels, countering JBL and getting him counted out to eliminate the team captain for that match. This is one of my all-time favorite Survivor Series elimination matches, even though it's one most people don't consider to be a great Survivor Series match. But in my opinion, it was a really decent match. My next favorite Survivor Series match comes from 2009, and it also features WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. But this match from Survivor Series 2009 was a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. It pitted D Generation X against WWE Champion John Cena. So my next favorite Survivor Series match comes from Survivor Series 2009. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H versus John Cena. What I liked about this Survivor Series match is that it was a very unpredictable match because we did not know whether or not Shawn Michaels or Triple H would become WWE champion. What we did know from Survivor Series 2009 all the way to WrestleMania 26 was that Shawn Michaels was eventually going to retire and step away from in-ring action. So I wasn't sure whether or not WWE would give Shawn Michaels a run as WWE champion one last time before he stepped into retirement. But in the end, John Cena got a victory over the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the game Triple H. This was a classic main event, a classic Survivor Series main event. I liked all the twists and turns of it. I mean, seeing Shawn Michaels nail Triple H with Sweet Chin Music as soon as the bell rang was pretty cool. A lot of fans thought Michaels turned heel, but it was every man for themselves. Then Triple H pedigreed Shawn Michaels. Then the next night on Raw, they're questioning why he moves on each other. That was very interesting storytelling and a great matchup. It also was the last time that we ever got to see Triple H and Shawn Michaels go one-on-one against each other. Instead of teaming up as DX, this was the last time that we got to saw Shawn Michaels take on Triple H in one-on-one action. A very good Survivor Series match. The next Survivor Series match that I'm going to talk about comes from Survivor Series 2007. And again, it involves WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. This was a singles match for the WWE Championship. It was Shawn Michaels taking on Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels had a bitter rivalry with Randy Orton in 2007. Remember, in 2007, Randy Orton punted Shawn Michaels and caused a severe concussion. And Michaels had missed months of his career, and Shawn Michaels had reminded everybody and himself that nobody was going to put him on retirement. He was going to retire on his own terms. And 3 years later, at WrestleMania 26, he did. But Michaels came back in October of 2007 and feuded with Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. He almost had the WWE Championship won at Cyber Sunday 2007, but Randy Orton got himself intentionally disqualified by low blowing Shawn Michaels. That meant that Randy Orton would retain the title because the title does not change hands on disqualification. Unfortunately, over the next few weeks, Michaels got the upper hand and would superkick Randy Orton a bunch of times on Monday Night Raw. This led to Randy Orton having Mr. McMahon ban Sweet Chin Music at Survivor Series. And if Michaels hit Sweet Chin Music, he would have lost the match and he would have never won the WWE Championship, and he'll never get an opportunity to fight for the WWE Championship once again. So in 2007, this was a wrestling clinic. Michaels used all different types of moves, from submission moves to suplexes, flying maneuvers, and whatnot. So this match, Shawn Michaels proved he did not need Sweet Chin Music to deliver a quality match. He did not need Sweet Chin Music to almost become the WWE champion, but he made a fatal mistake. He went for the Sweet Chin Music, but then remembered he couldn't hit it. He got RKO'd and lost the match. But at the end of the match, it was Shawn Michaels standing tall as he super kicked Randy Orton, shutting him up once and for all and ending their feud. This was a great story heading into Survivor Series, and it was a great conclusion to this story from Survivor Series 2007. And I think this is one of the better Survivor Series main events because I personally really enjoyed it. Now, when we think of Survivor, we think of surviving something. We think of surviving hell. We think of surviving personal issues. Well, there was one personal rivalry heading into Survivor Series 2009. It was the battle of former friends. One friend felt that his friend betrayed him in a world championship match at Bragging Rights 2009. It was a fatal four-way for the championship, I believe, between Undertaker, Mysterio, Edge, and Batista. Taker won the match, and in the end, Batista turned heel, attacking Rey Mysterio. And at Bragging Rights 2009, Batista turned into a dominating heel. He made Rey Mysterio look like a young child, which is not hard to do at all because Rey Mysterio is so small. But after attacking and turning heel on Rey Mysterio, this led to a matchup at Survivor Series 2009. It was Batista versus Rey Mysterio at Survivor Series 2009. Now, Batista completely dominated Rey Mysterio at the 2009 version of Survivor Series. It wasn't even a fair match. Rey Mysterio got little to no offense in the match. Batista was able to hit 3 Batista bombs, and for the first time in his career, Batista got a victory by the way of knockout. Batista completely manhandled Rey Mysterio and made him look like a child. This was a great way to make Batista look like a monster heel and get him a lot of heat because a lot of people hated him for what he did to Rey Mysterio. Great match that Batista and Mysterio had at Survivor Series 2009. And the final Survivor Series match that I want to talk about on tonight's episode of In the Ring with WWE fan Alex Cardinelli comes from 2016. Now, Survivor Series 2016 was focused on Raw versus SmackDown, but it was also focused on the return to the WWE of one Hall of Famer, Goldberg. Goldberg made his return to the Survivor Series to battle Brock Lesnar once again because at WrestleMania 20, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg were on bad terms with the WWE. They were leaving the WWE and they put on a match that no one will ever remember and a match that no one will ever forget as well. The fans will not remember WrestleMania 20 for being a good match, but they won't forget it either because it was a terrible match. So Goldberg and Brock Lesnar got together. They came up with a huge return feud for Goldberg. Goldberg came back, decimated Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series 2016. I think it's one of the greatest squash matches in Survivor Series history. Brock Lesnar literally got no offense on Goldberg in this match. Literally none. Lesnar got one shove, and that's it. Then Goldberg delivered 2 devastating spears and 1 jackhammer, and then 1, 2, 3. Goldberg took out the beast Brock Lesnar. That was one of the greatest shocking Survivor Series main events I'd ever seen. Because heading into Survivor Series 2016, I for sure thought that Brock Lesnar was going to get a victory at Survivor Series. I mean, I did see a third match happening. I did see Lesnar and Goldberg facing off at WrestleMania 33. I never thought it would be for a championship, and I thought that Goldberg would get his return victory at WrestleMania 33, ending the feud. But I like the way that it worked out. Goldberg got another victory at Survivor Series. Goldberg eliminated Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Goldberg won the WWE Universal Championship from Kevin Owens. And then Brock Lesnar earned the right to take on Goldberg at WrestleMania. And Lesnar defeated Goldberg for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 33, ending the feud. So this feud was rekindled at Survivor Series 2016 when Goldberg absolutely dominated Brock Lesnar. And remember, in 2015, Brock Lesnar broke The Undertaker's undefeated streak. In 2015 at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar dominated John Cena to become the WWE Undisputed Champion. And then in 2016, Goldberg returns and absolutely makes Brock Lesnar look like a sissy. That was an incredible, shocking Survivor Series moment and also an incredibly shocking Survivor Series match. And now this year, I have 2 shocking Survivor Series moments that I'm going to talk about. The first one is the classic Survivor Series moment, and that is the Survivor Series 1997 when WWE invaded Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And that night was known as the Montreal Screwjob. It's a night where Bret Hart did not want to do the job that he was paid to do. He did not want to drop his WWE Championship to Shawn Michaels for personal reasons. Personal issues should never get involved in a professional line of work, whether it's professional wrestling, sports, or working in a retail environment, personal issues should never get involved. But Bret Hart let his personal issues get inside his head. He let his personal issues with Shawn Michaels get inside his head, and it affected his performance. And then he decided, you know what? I'm not going to lose to Shawn Michaels. I'm not going to do what they want me to do. I'm going to be a total pain in the ass to work with. I'm not dropping the title. So therefore, I have to force the owner of the WWF to do something drastic to avoid the championship from going to WCW, because Vince McMahon and WWE had an inkling that Bret Hart was going to WCW, and they were correct in that inkling because they knew that Bret Hart was unhappy and he wanted out. So he was going to take the WWF championship with him. But luckily, on the spot, Vince McMahon pulled one of the greatest Survivor Series moments out of his book. And he screwed Bret Hart in his own country, Montreal, Canada, in the Montreal screw job. Once the referee, Michaels, Vince, and Triple H went to the ring, they knew what had to happen that night in order to keep the WWF Championship in the WWF. They had to screw Bret Hart out of the title. And that is one of the most iconic Survivor Series moments in Survivor Series history. Sure, it's a moment that Bret Hart will want to forget because he keeps mentioning it every year, how he regrets the Montreal screw job. But hey, if he did his job, maybe it would not have happened. Well, 2020 was a bad year. Obviously, we had the COVID pandemic. A lot of people got COVID, and unfortunately, a lot of people died. But also in 2020, it was the year that The Undertaker announced his retirement from the WWE and from professional wrestling. Undertaker is a 30-year veteran. He has dominated the WWE for 30 years. Most of those years were with Monday Night Raw in the Attitude Era, and most of them were with SmackDown in the PG Attitude Era. But Undertaker dominated the WWE. He faced every superstar there is to face, whether it be Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Kane, The Big Show, Great Khali, Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Batista. He faced everybody and he beat them all. The Undertaker is a legend in this business, and he is a legendary figure from Survivor Series. After all, it is Survivor Series where The Undertaker made his legendary WWE debut. So in 2020, when The Undertaker announced his retirement, it was a very sad day. I am and will always be amazed at everything The Undertaker accomplished in his career. It's hard to stay the same character for 30 plus years. I commend The Undertaker for being able to do that. That must be really hard. And he also stayed true to kayfabe for 30 years. He never broke his character until recently. So I commend The Undertaker for that. But at Survivor Series 2020, The Undertaker announced his retirement, and the WWE gave him a proper send off with a great segment where Kane, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Shane McMahon, and everyone that was instrumental in The Undertaker's career came out and paid homage to the dead man. One of my all time favorite things that the WWE has ever done was pay homage to The Undertaker. My favorite moment from the Farewell Taker segment at Survivor Series is this photo here, where The Undertaker pays his respects to his mentor and his late great father, storyline father, Paul Bearer. Very, very touching moment. And some honorary mentions for best Survivor Series matches and moments would be Survivor Series 2019, Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. It was great seeing the three brands of the WWE go head to head. And in 2019, NXT came out on top, but Roman Reigns and SmackDown shined in the main event. I would be really interested to see if maybe Survivor Series 2023 will also have the War Game match, but also be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Another honorable mention is The Undertaker's 25th anniversary from Survivor Series 2015, where the Brothers of Destruction destroyed the Wyatt family. That was pretty darn interesting. All right, those are all of my favorite Survivor Series matches and moments that I'm going to talk about on this year's show. I had a great time. I hope you WWE fans enjoyed today's episode. If you did and you're watching this video on Facebook, make sure to send some stars to show your support. I appreciate any stars that you send. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button and share this video with your fellow WWE fans so they can enjoy it as well. Don't miss WWE Survivor Series live this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Peacock in the United States of America and WWE Network elsewhere. The war with the Bloodline in the first ever men's War Games match in Survivor Series history. Damage Control takes on Team Bianca Belair inside a women's War Games match at Survivor Series. Ronda Rousey defends her title against Shotzi Blackheart. All that and more this Saturday for Survivor Series 2022 War Games. I missed last year's Survivor Series because I was working, but you can bet your ass I'll be watching this year's. Thank you, WWE fans, for tuning into this episode of In the Ring with WWE fan Alex Cardinale. This Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Shop Small, Saturday Live with legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm going to recap, or excuse me, I'm going to preview. I'm going to preview WWE Survivor Series and make my predictions. So make sure to tune in for that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, for future wrestling videos. Tune in and check out Survivor Series this Saturday, November 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Peacock in the United States, and WWE Network elsewhere. Go watch Survivor Series. Good night. Let's start the first Saturday in December in style. Let's celebrate the 25th episode of Saturday Live with legendary Alex Cardinale on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Saturday Live goes 25 on December 3rd at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And I invite you to the party. There's going to be all the favorites that you love. Tampa Bay Buccaneers chat, funny videos, and more. Plus additions to this party. There are going to be multiple special guests. The confirmed special guests so far include Little Egypt Aquarium Club founder and walk-in seller Jeremy Stellhorn, Slashmaster 1989 Jeff Edwards, who I podcast with many years ago. He'll be making his first appearance on my YouTube channel, and my friend and bowler Sandra Kemp will be back on the show. Plus, join Chef Alex in the kitchen as he celebrates 25 great episodes by making his version of a Twix cookie, somewhat of a copycat from Crumble. Plus, Aqua Alex discusses the Gold Stripe Maroon Clownfish and the Oscar Cichlid, a double fish of the weekend, for the 25th episode, and also get a Petco Fish Room tour on the 25th episode of Saturday Live with legendary Alex Cardinale. Also, I will announce the nominees for the Best of 2022 for legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. All that and more on the historic silver edition of Saturday Live with legendary Alex Cardinale. Saturday Live goes 25. The 25th episode airs live Saturday, December 3rd, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. It's time to be thankful and time to stuff our face with turkeys. It's Thanksgiving month, and I, legendary Alex Cardinale, will host the second annual Thanksgiving Bash live Thanksgiving Day at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Join me, legendary Alex Cardinale, for the 2022 Thanksgiving Bash live Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 24th, 11 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific. I, legendary Alex Cardinale, will talk about what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. I'll discuss my favorite Thanksgiving foods and memories. Plus, there will be appearances by Chef Alex Cardinale and Aqua Alex Cardinale. I'm sure Chef Alex will help answer your last minute Thanksgiving questions, plus give out good Thanksgiving cooking tips, as well as help you prepare a delicious turkey on Thanksgiving Day. What tropical fish topics will Alex bring for Thanksgiving? You'll have to tune in to find out. Plus, legendary Alex Cardinale previews the NFL Thanksgiving football games and more. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Don't miss the Thanksgiving Day Bash live Thursday, November 24th, 2022, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Go out and get those turkeys and tune in to the Thanksgiving Bash. Thursday, November 24th, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on the legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel.